I agree with you.
Problem.
I agree with you.
But I don't know, like,
doesn't promote that. It's just how society is.
because like
I agree with you as well, yeah.
I lived in Kuwait and I had to study religion.
Ah, beautiful
in school.
country.
Oh, really? Where are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan,
Oh, okay.
but I travel a lot, so
You like
Kuwait is good.
Kuwait?
Yeah, I like generally, any country where I can hear the adhan, I'm happy. But it depends,
Kuwait is interesting. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I love Kuwait myself.
You're from Kuwait?
No.
Okay.
You know where? I don't know if you can tell, but I'm Lebanese.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I lived in Kuwait most of my life, and like I had to. Take
Lebanon, by the way, is also a great country.
Yeah.
Beirut is one of my favorite cities, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Lebanon?
yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it was very saddening. Very saddening. I hope your family wasn't affected too much.
They were fine.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so you lived in Kuwait and you saw something there you didn't like.
And like the whole society was built on men. Like every Muslim family was built in such a patriarchal way, and like even in religion classes, they suppressed us so much. Like we're just irrelevant. And,
Sorry to hear that.
It's just how it is, and it kind of makes it seem like it's from like hadiths and like surahs and stuff. Especially they would teach us through the hadiths and surahs.
But you know what the thing is here, yeah? Sorry to cut you off. We're just having an ongoing conversation. I hope you don't think I'm rude.
No.
So the idea is this: when societies like Kuwait, right, and in Afghanistan, for example, I dare say maybe in some parts it's much worse than that. When it comes to society being controlled by man, this is a societal problem, not a religious problem.
Right, but they make it seem like it comes from religion, especially that they
Yeah.
place it like that. Like in my classes, I'm telling you, they
I agree.
make it seem like that.
I agree, but now me and you, the moment, yeah, and listen to this. This may shock you, okay? The moment you let them win this argument that what they are doing wrong is a religious issue, you just supported them. The moment you agree to that being a religious issue, knowing that it's not, you are actually
Right, but when you
supporting
speak to
them.
someone from there, you wouldn't even realize that this is not how Islam is.
That's just like
Because you're
extreme.
But
being
look at
taught
this.
that.
How do we know how Islam is? The way we
By
know how
listening
Islam
to
is.
your teachers, by listening to the sheikhs, by educating yourself.
Okay,
like that.
do you know of a sheikh that has come to you and said Islam favors men over
But all
women?
my teachers have always come to me saying like things
Teachers
like
in
that.
school?
Yeah.
Okay, but teachers in school, look, those are what we call is there's teachers who teach a specific subject, okay? There's maths teachers, there's PE teachers, whatever, like in this country. None of those people are qualified to speak about Islam. Just like an Islamic teacher is not qualified to speak about physics. Does that make sense? Unless he studied
But
physics
my
as
teachers
well.
were Islamic teachers.
Then I feel sorry for them not understanding it properly.
It's also the case that they would tell you the hadith and not forget to mention the context of
No,
it.
they weren't. We had exams on them. I tried to get out of these classes so many
Yeah.
times because they were so horrible.
No, but let me give you the good news, okay? Let me give you the good news because, sorry, I'm not used to this. This is my second week here, I'm not used to this. So,
I don't want to be in any way.
no, don't worry, it's fine. The idea is this, okay? And let me give you the good news. Yeah, I'll tell them to cover it. The good news is that Islam does not favor men over women. That's the good news, okay? And I'm telling you that very straight up. The good news is that Islam has actually created, not just created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us. The way we live life as Muslims is in a way that is best befitting for for what men are created upon and for what women are created upon. If you look at people, if you look at societies, I don't know how many families that follow Islam to a high extent and stuff like that, who actually go to the root, to the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the hadith, to the ayat of the Quran, they are living life in the best possible way. Where the women get their respect and dignity, the men get their respect and dignity, there is love, there's harmony, there's all of these. Of course, there's no such thing as a fairy tale. But by following the actual teachings of Islam, by going back to the sources, not by what people claim, Today, if you come and say something to me, Today, if you come and say something to me, and you tell me that this hadith has said so, yeah? Sorry guys, she doesn't want to be filmed, okay? Not her. Oh, okay. I don't know how to put this on. So today, if you come and say to me that, for example, my teacher told me that, for example, it's right for a man to hit a woman, for example, yeah?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I'm pretty sure they say stuff like this, yeah? Or a man is allowed to hit a woman, yeah? I will never believe you unless you bring me the evidence from the Quran and the Sunnah. That's how Muslims do it, okay? So you have to tell them, okay, but where is this written? Because in Islam, something is not permitted until someone can verify this from the sources. And in fact, we have been told, there's an ayah in the Quran, it says, الرجال قوامون على النساء. This word qawamun, many people, they translate it into, they have authority or power over them. But this word qawamun is actually, is a word that has many meanings. And one of those meanings is they're responsible for them. Another meaning is they have to look after them. Another meaning is they are, they have to protect them. So there's so many things, A man is being put in charge with huge responsibility that he's answerable in the next life for, over protecting and looking after and nurturing and feeding and caring for the woman in his care. Whether that's his sister, his wife, his daughter, his mother, his aunt, all of the people who are called, who the man is a mahram for. So this is what Islam says. What society does is a whole different thing altogether. It's like me saying some terrorists, they blow themselves up and they claim to be Muslim. But do you believe Islam says that? Of course not. So same here. This is not true Islam when someone says Islam is a religion where men are superior to women and women have to be controlled and women have to be degraded and they don't have. It's nothing like that. It's a very fair balance, And yes, there are differences. There are differences. For example, when a couple gets married, okay, the husband has certain rights and responsibilities. The wife has certain rights and responsibilities. In that sense, here in this country, the woman is called the housewife. So when you apply for jobs or something, or you register anywhere, they ask for your occupation. It says employed, self-employed, or housewife. Or house husband now as well for the equality purposes. But in Islamic, if you look at the Islamic context in Arabic, it's actually called Rabaytul Bayt. It means the lord of the house, sort of, or the one who's in control of the house. So Islamically, like me, for example, when I go home, anything to do with the house, my wife is in charge of. I will never even, think of touching that because that's her place. She is the lord of that, And we have been told in a Sahih Hadith, for example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he tells us, he says, all of the people, they're shepherds, and they're responsible for their flock. And it says the leader is the shepherd of the ummah, and he's responsible for his flock. And he says the man, he's the shepherd of his household. He's responsible for the flock. So to make sure that the house, all the relationships are good, to make sure that the people are being educated properly, the children are being brought up properly, they're being fed, they're not under the wrong influences. So the man is responsible for all of this. And it says the woman, she's the shepherd of the house and she's responsible for it. So it's not like, there is one single authority. It's a very balanced life structure, and the hierarchical system that's put in place for power, for respect, for love, for humility, all of it, in the end, when you balance it all out, women are preferred. They are much more privileged overall in day-to-day life, and that's what matters most.
It's like even in war, right? Like if you're in historical times, you had war with some. The women and the children will be protected, but the men have to go out and fight, right?
Yeah, the men they have to fight. They don't want to be in video. The men they have to fight. Yeah, people are recording here, for instance. I will make sure that it doesn't happen. I'll tell them to just cover everything or just cut it, No problem. But does that clarify your misconceptions a little bit? I'm glad to hear that. I think it happens a lot, doesn't it? Actually, I watched a video. It's by I forgot who it was. It was actually yesterday. I watched a video by this lady, and it was in a hole, right? It's on. I don't know if you know Ali Dawa. He also comes there. It's on his YouTube page. So if you YouTube Ali Dawa, one of his recent videos or something like that, he posted it. There's this lady in a headscarf, and she's giving this talk on feminism. Okay, and that's why I mentioned feminism. And I don't know. There's like a million different types of feminists, so I'm not trying to offend anyone. But she just speaks of whether feminism, like what the implications of it are, and it's an amazing talk. She starts by summarizing the inconsistency of the society today when it's enough, brother. The inconsistency of society today when it comes to how women raise their voice and people try and say that women are treated unequally, but the same is not done for men, right? Which I believe in, to a certain extent. I'm not, I'm not going to be what's the opposite of feminism? I actually don't know the actual word. Masculinist or something, yeah. So, but she says this is inconsistent. So that's first things. And like you said, some people they try and claim for women to be above men, which is something completely. Yeah.
I'm saying this is not what feminism should be. That's not what it's based on. And also, it doesn't mean that men shouldn't also lot of issues, like a lot of men can be depressed and everybody laughs at them, or men can be abused. Again, that's embarrassing for a man. Why is it
Yeah, to
embarrassing?
share that and stuff
Of
like that.
course, it shouldn't be embarrassing, and that's why there's so many suicides with men, so much anxiety and depression, and that's an issue that we don't discuss because it's embarrassing for the man, or men don't ever want to talk about it. But why is it that way for men? It's not equal.
Yeah.
So men are also not equal in some parts, and they should be equal because it's always like, oh, be a man, don't cry, or like it's so sexist and horrible. For
Who
men.
says men shouldn't cry? The greatest of men cried a lot.
See, and that's the thing. That's why I don't like that either. Like, it
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But look, here's a proposal. Why do we need to bring in a new word called feminism? We already have Islam. Islam is the most complete way of life.
in the entire society, in the entire world, actually, to become Muslim.
It will happen one day. We've been told it will. Inshallah.
I mean, I think that the most important thing is that people are good people. So even if they don't want to be Muslims, they can be good people and they can do the things that Islam is trying to make people do. Like
I'm
what
100%
you're speaking
for
right
that,
now,
of course.
I don't need to label it.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what I mean? I can be a good person. I can even go to like heaven without being a Muslim by name. But if I'm a good person and I'm, like doing good for everyone and I'm whatever, I'm following the rules.
Goodness is good.
Yeah.
I think Islam, the core of Islam is to submit.
Yeah.
The word Muslim means to submit, yeah?
Yeah.
So if we submit to the will of Allah, if me and you, we say, okay, we're Muslims, yeah? We submit 100% our will. So every decision that we make, every thought that we have, whatever it is, we submit this to God Almighty. Why? Because He is the creator. The moment we have established that, and the moment we say, okay, every decision I make has to be in accordance with what He has guided me to. Because this life is temporary, we're all gonna die, After we die, no one cares who's a feminist, no one cares who's equal. Everyone will be judged on the same scale, and that's the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we know that we have to live our entire life according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His instructions, then all of these other issues, they become secondary. Me personally, right, you're fighting for equality, yeah? And I love it, like I'm full respect, right? Because of course we have to fight for what we believe in. But don't you think that by believing into these into these new generation dogmas, I said dogma and a dog just came. Believing in these new generation accusations, on Islam and stuff like that, that men are superior, women are inferior, and this and that. All we're doing is we're harming ourselves, And I'm telling you this, and this is without trying to offend anyone. I'm not saying you are, but you will be supporting the people that propagate this by believing in that. Islam is a complete way of life. And when we promote Islam to people, we don't just promote equality, we tell them, listen, equality is one thing, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save you from the torment, and I'm trying to show you the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called us to. So that guidance is much more important. And I think if as individuals, I personally believe that equality is a big problem, but the fact that the Muslims, we lack in our own faith is a much, much bigger issue. Today we see like I see a lot of, because I'm involved in these circles sometimes, I see a lot of people, they're super passionate about these things, but they don't even pray their 5 prayers, Like you don't pray, which is a punishable thing. Not praying is punishable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that the prayer is the line between iman and kufr, between belief and, like this is the thing. Of course, there's many things surrounding that. Doesn't mean that you miss a salah and you're a kafir. But I'm saying, people, like we feel very passionate about these topics. Islam already has a solution to those topics, but it's only when we change what is within ourselves. It's only when we change our orientation, when we understand, when we wake up. Most people are asleep. When you wake up from this delusion of what society has painted nowadays, that's only when we can really follow the true Islam. And if the Muslims alone follow true Islam, there would be no need for feminism. There would be no need for such a thing. Because it already would create, it will solve a huge deal of it. If you look at societies during the time of the Muslims, during the Khilafah, there was never such topics. There was never such topics. Look at the empowerment of women. In Islam, the first university, official university, was created by a woman. At the time of some Khilafahs, the women, they were leaders in science, they were leaders in poetry, they were leaders in educating other people, doctors and stuff like this, Like amazing, amazing stories.
There are women who fought alongside the Rasul.
Of course there are, and they were some of the strongest people. So if you look at what was happening in the Arab Peninsula back 1400 years ago, and when Islam came, how it relieved a lot of oppression from the society, that's a miracle in and of itself. People were burying their daughters alive at that time. Can you imagine, Unfortunately, it still happens in some parts of the world, very pagan rituals, But at that time, it was completely abolished. It's sternly been advised against by the Quran with a huge punishment by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is the thing. Islam only comes to honor women, and it only comes to uphold the woman and to put them in the respect and dignity that they deserve. And the general day-to-day accusations of oppression because of the hijab or because of one man can marry 4 wives and these common things, If someone was to understand these, they would know that none of it is against women. None of it is meant to oppress women. I know many women who wear the niqab. I know many women who are in polygamous marriages. Correctly done, okay? I know many that are done it where there is oppression as well, which I completely disagree with and I speak against. But the ones that are doing it correctly, they're the happiest women I know. There's nothing taken away from them. So it's always difficult to put 21st century, 2020 societal views with all that's happening every day. There's a new movement with the truth, because the truth, the society is so far away from it. Sometimes it sounds crazy to us, but if you were to analyze everything around it, the truth is what wins at the end of the day, and falsehood will always perish. So I hope that clarifies some stuff for you. So, alhamdulillah.
I mean, I know about the marriages and stuff, like I know how it can be fair and everything, but it was just the equality thing that I was thinking about.
Yeah. So again, equality is a distant word. I think we agree on that. I don't think it's as much about equality as it is about, let's say, balance. And justice.
Yeah.
Justice is the word.
Fairness. Justice or fairness.
Allah describes himself as al-adl. The just, the fair one. So this is the most important thing.
There's this argument that they always constantly use against Islam about inheritance, how men get more, and then they forget to mention that men get more because they're meant to.
They have to look after everyone.
They have to look after everyone, but the woman that's for herself doesn't even have to use it. So that's what
The man has to work. The woman doesn't.
Yeah.
Many women today they fight. Oh, why can I not work? This is a big thing in Muslim countries. Yeah, but you don't have to. You can work if you want. Of course you can in a halal setting. But you don't have to. Isn't that an amazing thing? If as a man I'm married, I have children, I sit down at home, it's haram upon me. I have to go, I have to put in effort to make money, A woman can just sit at home and be like, yalla, go get me some food. So, alhamdulillah, this is a good thing. What's wrong about this? It's amazing. But, so you moved to London now, yeah?
Yeah, I've been here for a while.
Alhamdulillah.
No, I lived in Kuwait.
I hope that you use your let's say passion and righteousness to do something good, all of you. The best thing, honestly, like maybe you'll come to this soon, maybe you'll come later. But I'm saying this from personal experience. The best thing you will ever do is to come to a point where you only propagate for Islam. It may sound strange because you're like, yeah, but even non-Muslims deserve fairness. Yes, but they can never achieve a complete way of life because equality is one thing. What about all the other issues in life? What about the relationship with the parents? What about the relationship with the daughters? What about the relationship with the workplace? What about fairness in society? What about rights in society? Everything. So we can go through many things. So unless someone follows the way of Islam, we believe that he or she will always have something missing. There'll always be something lacking in the way they deal with people because Islam is the complete guide. And may Allah guide us all and grant us the knowledge to understand that and then propagate and call people towards that. Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. All the best to you, yeah? Who do I give this to?
Black cameras belong to?
Allah, I don't know, akhi. I don't even know who these people are.
Here's one. No, is it?
Shukran,
It's the whole
habibi.
crew. It's like,
I was just speaking with him,
Oh, yeah. MashaAllah.